Welcome to Part 2. Part 1 is linked in the description. Previously, a lad named Makoto is transported to a fantastical realm as a level 1 champion, but he actually possesses godlike abilities. Before long, he forms a bond with a formidable dragon who happens to be a stunning lady named Tomo, who accompanies him on his expedition. Makoto confronts a formidable and overpowering spider, which transforms into another attractive lady who joins him. While journeying, they encounter a petite girl whose sibling has been abducted, and when they endeavor to liberate her, they are assaulted by local ruffians. In the process of assisting the sisters' reunion, Tomo and Mio unleash their powers, causing devastation to the city merely to establish dominance. The two sisters reunite, expressing gratitude to Makoto, Tomo, and Mio for their assistance. Makoto is pleased with this outcome but simultaneously furious at Tomo and Mio for obliterating the entire town in their rivalry. Makoto, Tomo, and Mio travel alongside the adventurers they rescued towards the next prominent settlement. They employ Tomo's ability to manipulate minds, altering the memories of everyone except Rinon and Toa, leading them to believe that a horde of monsters ravaged the city instead. To prevent further town destruction through such competitions, Makoto sends Tomo off to embark on her own and grow stronger, ensuring she doesn't feel inferior to Mio. Tomo accepts Makoto's decision and sets out independently, bringing joy to Mio as she has Makoto all to herself. On their path to the next significant town, known as Sage, they repeatedly encounter perilous monsters that Mio and Makoto dispatch effortlessly. Toa seizes the opportunity to gather valuable resources from the creatures, teaching Makoto the same skill. Upon arriving at Sage, Makoto must re-register at the Guild of Adventurers because the prior registration failed before the town's destruction. There, he acquires a task for uncommon resources that he already possesses. Prior to bidding farewell to Toa, Rinon, and the other adventurers, they all enjoy a delightful supper together. While dining, Toa cautions Makoto about rumors of misfortunes befalling adventurers who accept assignments from Rembrandt Trading Company, coincidentally the client he obtained the job from. Before retiring for the night, Makoto visits the demoplane to assess the situation. There, he aids Emma in overseeing the city's construction, further elaborating on his vision of establishing a thriving trade center. Returning to Sage, Makoto proceeds to deliver the requested materials to the client, Patrick Rembrandt. Initially, Patrick doubts that a low-level adventurer could obtain the rare materials he requires, but upon witnessing the goods, he swiftly changes his stance. Patrick explains that he needs those resources to produce ambrosia, a magical remedy that cures all ailments. Evidently, a witch doctor cursed his spouse and 2 daughters. Makoto volunteers to assist by providing ample materials for creating ambrosia for everyone, and he also reaches out to one of the adventurers he recently rescued, a skilled alchemist. Makoto expresses his aspiration to join the Merchants Guild, and Patrick extends his well wishes. At the guild, the receptionist informs him about the required test for membership. Makoto feels concerned but, upon examining the test manual, decides to take it immediately, surprised by the elementary level of difficulty in the written portion. As a former high schooler, he completes the written exam swiftly, astonishing the overseeing instructor. The second part of the test involves procuring valuable trade goods and materials. Although the provided list is challenging to find, Makoto is permitted to obtain equivalent value materials, which he fortunately possesses from defeating numerous monsters during his journey to the city. The instructor is left speechless, stating that Makoto is the first person to show up and pass the test on their first day. Periodically, Tomo visits the demoplane to take breaks from hunting formidable monsters alone. Emma assigns her tasks, including assisting Mio in exploring more of Makoto's extracted memories, which aid in understanding how to construct the envisioned city. Back in the demoplane, Makoto receives an urgent message from Tomo, who requires assistance in calming Mio down. Upon arriving, Makoto realizes that Mio has also developed an affinity for specific shows from his memories and is pressuring Tomo to extract more of them quickly. Makoto becomes irritated by their behavior and reprimands them both before reconciling with them. They attempt to seduce Makoto into sleeping with one of them, but he dismisses their advances and instead contacts the alchemist adventurer to inform him about the ambrosia job. The following morning, Makoto meets up with the adventurer, and together they head towards Patrick's mansion to complete their task. 2 other adventurers keep a close watch on them, aiming to gather as many available adventurers as possible to thwart Patrick's intentions once again. Makoto and the alchemist named Hazel arrive at Patrick's estate and begin working on the ambrosia. While producing the medicine, Hazel realizes that they are using substitute materials instead. Patrick's butler, Morris, explains that the ambrosia flower necessary for the medicine is exceedingly difficult to obtain. Makoto sees an opportunity to earn a significant amount of money by procuring those flowers. After some time, Hazel finishes preparing the medicine, but as they prepare to administer it, they discover Patrick injured on the floor. He reveals that he had attempted to administer the first batch of the medicine on his own, but his wife's behavior was too erratic. Patrick explains that the curse transformed his wife and daughters into formidable monsters, and Makoto believes that the curse is making them unusually aggressive to hinder their recovery. Makoto assures Patrick and advises him to accompany them to administer the medicine while he restrains the transformed family members. With Makoto's assistance, Patrick successfully administers the ambrosia medicine to his wife and daughters, effectively curing them from the curse. Patrick expresses gratitude to Makoto for liberating him from his previous nightmare, bidding him farewell. Upon returning from Patrick's mansion, Makoto encounters Tomo and Mio. They had come to meet him after noticing a group of adventurers trailing behind him. At that moment, the vengeful adventurers who held a grudge against Patrick emerge from the forest and launch an attack. Makoto and Tomo easily handle them as they prove to be unremarkable opponents. While interrogating Lime, the leader of the attacking group, they discover that they were deceived by the witch doctor into placing the curse. Unaware of its potency, they acted out of discontent towards Patrick's control over the adventurers in the city. Makoto chooses to spare Lime so that he can continue overseeing the orphanage, an important responsibility to him. Makoto insists that Lime cleans up his act and apologizes to Patrick for the trouble caused. After receiving forgiveness from Patrick, Lime decides to retire from adventuring. Tomo takes him under her wing as her apprentice, equipping him with proper weapons and providing training to protect what he holds dear. In return, Tomo asks Lime to serve as her spy in the city, keeping tabs on Patrick and his company's activities. In the Demiplane, the motivation of the fighting monsters reaches an all-time low. Emma explains that this is due to Makoto effortlessly defeating them during training. To address this issue, Tomo devises a plan. She organizes a strength competition, pitting the strongest orc against the strongest lizard. Makoto, Tomo, and Mio witness the orc emerge as the victor. Instead of congratulating the orc on the victory, Tomo flips the situation, belittling the monsters for not being strong enough to impress them. By implementing this approach, she establishes a new standard for the power level that aspiring fighting monsters should strive to achieve. This encourages them to collaborate and enhance their strength collectively. Inside, Makoto, Tomo, and Mio are assigned the task of training an adventurer to become Lime's successor, given that he was the most formidable adventurer among them. Makoto decides to enlist Toa and her group as his potential successors, with Tomo taking charge of their training. Recognizing Toa's resemblance to someone significant from Makoto's world, Tomo approaches this responsibility with great seriousness. Thus, Toa, Hazel, Luisa, and Renana undergo training to improve their group dynamics and unleash their true potential. With Tomo's guidance, they successfully eliminate 2 entire nests of highly formidable monsters, proving their value to the guild. Makoto sends Mio to scout potential locations where ambrosia flowers might be growing before visiting Patrick to request a favor. Specifically, Makoto wishes to establish his first shop in the city without getting embroiled in the politics surrounding property ownership. Consequently, he seeks to rent a location from Patrick. Patrick accommodates his request and makes the necessary arrangements for securing a shop location. Moreover, he informs Makoto about a neutral city where he could establish his own place without being entangled in political matters. In the Demiplane, a grand festival takes place to celebrate the inauguration of Makoto's trading company. During this time, Makoto seizes the opportunity to meet and converse with various assisting monsters, learning that his visionary city project is progressing splendidly. Neo and Tomo are unwinding together when they detect an anomaly in Makoto's demeanor. Hastening to his side, they discover him engrossed in archery practice, reminiscent of his activities in his previous world. Makoto is perplexed by their state of alarm, questioning if everything is alright. Amidst Mio's tears, Tomo elucidates that Makoto's intense focus during archery caused his consciousness to recede into the background, akin to the sensation of approaching death. Makoto struggles to comprehend her explanation, insisting that he was perfectly fine. However, Tomo contradicts him, clarifying that each instance of this phenomenon leads to his consciousness undergoing cycles of demise and rebirth, consequently amplifying his already substantial mana reserves. It dawns on Makoto that the rings, designed to absorb mana and conceal his formidable aura, have reached their maximum capacity. Tomo emphasizes that the predicament lies in the fact that his current mana level rivals that of the goddess herself. This substantial growth also impacts the Demiplane, causing it to expand in unison with his mana. Due to this development, it is likely that the goddess will take action to eliminate Makoto before his power becomes too overwhelming. Consequently, Makoto decides to prioritize concealing his mana as much as possible. Seeking solace on a walk, Makoto accidentally collides with a sex worker. Before he can clarify the misunderstanding, Mio and Tomo swiftly intervene, whisking Makoto away to an inn room. There, they assertively express their desire for intimacy with him, urging him to choose them over a random prostitute. Unable to rectify the confusion, Makoto escapes to the Demiplane. Rugui, the dwarf responsible for crafting the mana-absorbing rings, completes additional accessories and garments for Makoto, aiding in the suppression of his immense mana. Mio meets up with Makoto, offering an apology for her previous behavior. The two venture into the Tinnarak forest, where Mio discovered the growth of ambrosia flowers. They are trailed by 3 adventurers, including the prostitute Makoto encountered earlier. Upon reaching the flower garden, it becomes evident that someone is cultivating the ambrosia flowers. 2 individuals, Eris and Aqua, appear and mistakenly perceive Makoto and Mio as associates of the humans following them. In an effort to safeguard the secrecy of their garden's location, Eris and Aqua launch an attack against them. Thank you for watching until the end. The link to part 3 will be in the description. Make sure to subscribe for more content like this.